You can buy a home with zero money down, not even closing costs. Down payment assistance is a great way to buy a home with little or no money taken out of your pocket. In this video, I'll talk about the different kinds of programs, how to find them, and how to avoid some potential pitfalls of down payment assistance programs. Down payment assistance is a financial aid program designed to support home buyers by offering financial assistance for their down payments and sometimes their closing costs as well. There are a few different kinds of down payment assistance programs. One of them is a cash grant. This is direct financial assistance for down payments. That usually means that it's a grant that does not need to be paid back. You qualify for it, you buy a home, you use a cash grant, and that's that. This is probably the most ideal. However, there can be some strings attached. There are thousands of different down payment assistance programs, so of course each one is going to be different. But for instance, you might have to live in the home for a certain amount of time. If you sell before 5 years as an example, then you might need to pay the grant back or at least a portion of it. Then there are low rate loans. So with this down payment assistance program, you're essentially getting two loans, one for the mortgage itself and one for the down payment. However, the interest rate on the down payment might be lower than what you would normally get. So that's why this kind of loan might work better than just rolling your down payment and closing costs into the loan. Then there are 0% interest loans. It's what it sounds like. It's like the last one, except there's no interest on the loan. This is nice because if you get a loan for $10,000, that's all you're paying back. If the loan had interest, you would be paying more than what your loan amount actually was. Then there are forgivable loans. After you live in the home for 5 or 10 years or whatever the stipulation is for the program, your loan goes away and you don't have to pay back the loan. It's forgiven. These are just a few of the more common types of down payment assistance programs you'll come across. If you're looking for a real estate agent, I can help you. The link is in the description. I have a free homebuyer course where I break down everything you need to know about buying a home. You'll find the link for that in the description as well. Now you can find down payment assistance programs a few different ways. There are federal programs, so these are programs that work for everyone in the US. Then there are state programs, and then there are local programs. Sometimes it's by your city or your county. There are also private entities and charitable organizations that offer down payment assistance as well. That's why there ends up being thousands of programs. How you can find these assistance programs really can vary. You can go on the Housing and Urban Development website, but honestly, trying to navigate around it can be confusing. So I think Google is your friend. I would Google National Payment Assistance Programs, then your state down payment assistance program. So if you live in Texas, Texas down payment assistance programs, then your county, then your city. Usually if you can get to your state housing authority website, they can be a pretty good resource. Sometimes these websites can have old information on them, so it might be best to call your state or county's housing department and ask about the programs. Another great resource is your lender and real estate agent. Now, not all lenders and real estate agents are created equal, so if you know that you're going to want to use a down payment assistance program, it's best to work with a lender and real estate agent who's familiar with these programs because they are pretty nuanced and can be difficult to navigate. Also, with some of these down payment assistance programs, the lender has to be approved by the state or county or whatever to provide help with these down payment assistance programs. Who qualifies for down payment assistance? Since there are so many programs out there, it's really hard to say. They have all different kinds of qualifications. Some you can only make a certain amount of money. Some might be for people in a particular profession, like a teacher or a nurse, for instance. Each program is going to have their own specific requirements. A lot of them are geared toward first-time homebuyers and for your primary residence. These typically aren't for rental properties. Your lender and real estate agent can help you figure out what down payment assistance program might work best for you. Another thing to know about down payment assistance programs is sometimes you're required to take a class or have a session with a housing counselor, or there could be some other requirements, like you have to volunteer at an organization, things like that. So before applying for these programs, you really want to understand the terms and what your responsibilities are to be eligible for the program. You also want to see if there's a timeline for when you need to use the down payment assistance funds. Down payment assistance can sometimes take a while until you're approved. You're essentially getting another loan. So it's kind of like the mortgage process. You may have to show documentation, then they might ask for more documentation. I've also had situations where the terms of the down payment assistance program changes. This can happen when the buyer is further along in the process and they may be in a situation where they're left scrambling trying to figure out a plan B to pay for the down payment. I had this happen to me before with a client, and he qualified for a new program that our state rolled out. My client's a nurse and qualified for this program because of his job. However, the types of jobs kept changing, and eventually the particular kind of nurse he is didn't qualify for this program. We eventually found another down payment program that he qualified for, and we also got closing costs from the seller. So it ended up working out, but qualifying for these programs isn't always easy. If you're going to try to get down payment assistance, especially from a new program, it's best to work closely with your lender and your real estate agent to figure out if there's anything that could disqualify you from getting the down payment assistance. Also, having a backup plan can be really helpful. So although these are really great programs, they're definitely not for everyone. Check out this video to learn about the pros and cons of getting down payment assistance, or this playlist about different loan programs. If you have any real estate questions, my contact information is in the description below. Thanks for watching to the end, especially if you're a subscriber.